Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey. I am indeed Wendy Y. Bailey, and I appreciate you stopping by, checking me out, seeing what I can add to your coaching business in the way of value. Let me tell you, I'm Wendy Y. Bailey. Everyone calls me Wendy Y. And I'm a 20-year veteran master business and sales coach. People know me as the Income Acceleration Mentor. And I'm excited with this series I've been giving you guys over this is into the third week this week. And today's content is no different. Yesterday, I talked about how you earn more and work smarter and earn more. So that's what I talked about yesterday. Today, my topic is all about tools. What's in your coaching toolbox for you to get to six figures and you to do really well at that six-figure level and higher means that you've got to have some tools in your toolbox. And what I'm talking about are systems, right? Applications. So some of these are categories that I've kind of lumped together, but I'm also going to give you some name brands, some names of apps that you can benefit from in your coaching business. I try to do it from a space of what I've used. I also know what some of my clients are using that I may not be using, but because they're using them, I've worked with those applications. So I'm going to share some of that with you today. If you're tuned in, this is the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show with Wendy Y. Bailey, and it is all about the ecosystem of sales, marketing, and business that you need for your coaching business. So many of my topics are related to business marketing and sales. Many of my topics are designed to help coaches at or near six-figure coaches, coaches who are beyond six figures and you're ready to grow and scale. So many of my topics are around that. If you're looking for additional resources, you can go to the Profitable Coaching let me make sure I get it right. I got so many names. Profitablecoachingconversations.com is where you're going to find old episodes. I say old episodes, but they're great episodes that are there for you. So profitablecoachingconversations.com, you'll find more episodes. What I'm sharing with you now is a preview to an upcoming masterclass series that I'm doing. It's coming up. I've actually decided I'm going to move some things around and change the date. So you may be able to be part of that in the future. ElevateWithWendyY.com is a three-part masterclass series. And you can sign up for it at elevatewithwendyy.com. So let's kind of get into the topic. I see people are popping on. As a reminder, I'm live streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, two YouTube channels, my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, two Facebook groups. So if you're there and you just want to say hello and let me know that you're here, I would really appreciate knowing that you were here. If for some reason you're catching the replay, just be sure you type hashtag replay and tell me to let me know that you did check it out. I am leaving these open and available across the platforms, which means I'm going to every platform just to see, if you had comments, if you had questions, how I can support you specifically around this topic. I told you guys that I have been in my business full time as a coach for more than 20 years. And one of the things I've learned is in more than 20 years, you don't always get it right the first time, right? Sometimes it's trial and error. Sometimes you just do stuff and it works. And sometimes you do stuff and it doesn't work. So what I discovered for me over time, when I got to about 2016, early 2016, late 2015, I had been out of my business for a minute and I was coming back to my business. And I set an intention to make sure that my business was set up in the way of infrastructure so that I could truly grow and scale my coaching business. And I got to tell you, it was the best decision that I ever made. Making sure that the infrastructure was in place for my growth, for me scaling, for me to be able to support my clients was amazing. Like it was tremendous that I did that. And what I found was in doing that, it freed me up to be free in my business, to serve with very select ideal clients, clients that I love to this day. Some I'm still working with from back then. But the thing that infrastructure, the processes and systems and applications and structure do for you when you're in a coaching business in particular is it sort of takes the weight off. You're not juggling trying to make things happen. In along the way, in again more than 20 years, I've met people who have been like, oh, well, I'm manually sending emails to people. Oh, I don't have a list because I don't have a tool that captures email addresses. I don't have a lead magnet. And based on that, I'm just, hoping that I get people. Well, here's the thing that this particular show episode is going to give you. It's going to give you sort of my lay of the land around what's foundational that you must have in your toolbox. I'm also going to try to share some stories with you so that you know what it can help you with in the way of growth, right? How it can position you to really truly serve your clients. I'm talking to you no matter where you are in your coaching business, but I want to let you know that if you're serious about growing and scaling your coaching business, you've got to position yourself in the marketplace to grow and to scale. So let me start out with just talking with you about how you collect money. That's got to be a high priority for you. It's got to be a high priority for you. That means you've got to have automated processing. You've got to have a tool that helps you to invoice. You've also got to have a tool that partners with digital delivery so that you're not just giving people links that they can share. You're actually able to track the link and make sure people get whatever they've requested from you in the way of digital delivery. I'm talking about lead magnets. I'm talking about your ebooks. I'm talking about your slide presentations. I'm talking about other kinds of resources that you want to give people access to. You got to have digital delivery for that. So for invoicing, I'm going to share a couple of different ones. Hello, thanks for joining me. I'm going to share a couple of different ones that I've used over the years. I'm going to tell you about one I don't like and I don't use for certain reasons. But you've got to have a way for people to pay you, right? You must have a way for people to pay you. And let me say this, if you want to start with PayPal, I say go start with PayPal. I'm not a fan of PayPal because when you grow to a certain volume, you want to be with a merchant provider or with a payment gateway that really supports you as the seller. And my belief is that PayPal doesn't do that. But if you're just starting out and you just want to do something, PayPal works. PayPal works. It doesn't allow for digital delivery, but you can send invoices, you can create subscriptions, that's monthly recurring payments from people. You can do all of that with PayPal. You can also do, I don't know what they call it now because it's been a while, but you can also do a virtual terminal with PayPal. That means when you want to accept a payment, you can literally go to the virtual terminal and you can enter in the person's information, their credit card, you can process payments. So they do have features that will support you. But let me say this, there are a lot of other tools in the marketplace. And as you grow, you want the support that you get to grow with you in your business. My tools of choice today are I use Stripe with authorize.net. I'm sorry, I didn't say that right. I use Stripe with Moonclerk. I love Moonclerk because it allows you to create these really pretty branded forms, right? And recently, I want to say a little over a year ago now, they actually launched a digital delivery addition to their platform. So you just pay a little extra money, but beyond the normal amount that you pay every month. And you get digital delivery. That means you upload the PDFs, the audios, the videos, whatever the bundle is that you're offering, and Moonclerk will deliver that to people. I also like Stripe because Stripe allows you to invoice. Stripe allows you to um, deliver things in a way that your payment processing is sort of behind the scenes and seamless. You can track your payments. You can see what client payments are coming up. Stripe does a lot of that for you. Moonclerk does some of it, but Moonclerk works with Stripe. So think of it as a partnership. Stripe is doing the payment processing. You can also do invoices. You can also send payment links. Moonclerk is pretty forms and digital delivery. But when you partner them together, you've got a really robust system and you can track volume of business. You can track payment dates. You can track everything. You can adjust whatever you need to. So the first area, the first system or application that you must have if you're serious about growing and scaling your business is invoicing, automated payments, and digital delivery. Again, I lump them all together. You may not want to lump them all together, but it's just important enough for you to write it down so you can start asking questions. Now, over the years, I've used tools for payment processing, a payment gateway, authorize.net. I mentioned it earlier in error, but I have used it before. Authorize.net, I haven't used it in a while, but it allows you to create branded pages as well. And it acts as a payment processor. So it's processing all of your credit card payments, it's processing all of that, and it's directing any kind of fees to those credit card companies, MasterCard, Amex, Visa, American Express, all of that, right? It's taking into account those fees so that you don't have to worry about them. They're taken care of. So that's the number one system, tool, application you need to have if you want to really grow and scale your coaching business. It's going to make a difference for you in so many ways when you have it set up before you need it. Okay, have it set up before you need it. And if you're in business and you've been in business and you're at or near six figures or into six figures, you know you need something that you can count on that's not going to break down, that's not going to go through a whole lot of glitches around processing your payments. So do the due diligence and look at some of the ones I've already given you, and you'll find that that needs to be really strong for you. The second area I want to talk about is one most people overlook. And I have to be in total transparency and tell you there have been times in the last 20 years that I've overlooked this, but it's been such an issue across the board. And I'm talking about security. I'm talking about internet safety. I'm talking about making sure your website is secure from hackers. Hackers are getting smarter and smarter every single day. So you've got to make sure that you have a resource, an application, a system that manages viruses, that manages malware, that manages, they call them denial of service attacks. That's where someone's actually intentionally trying to hack your website. There are tools out there, and they're tools based on, the type of platform you're using. My tool, let me tell you, all of my websites are WordPress. So every single one of my websites have WordFence as the tool. I also sort of back it up by having WordPress Security. That's a plugin that you can get. They're both plugins, but you can pay for the security. You can pay for the security. You can also pay for the WordFence. The thing that I want to impress upon you is you need to secure your website because you never know the vulnerability you have. One of the times that I was out of my business due to illness and I came back, my site had tons of viruses. I didn't even know that was going on. I knew my site was still up, people could still access things, but I didn't know that I wasn't secure. So make sure that the second tool or system that you look at to be in your coaching success toolbox is some sort of website protection, virus, malware protection. And don't just go with the free version. Invest in your business and upgrade to the paid version of WordFence or Security, WP Security, like I suggested. Or maybe you do McAfee, maybe you do Norton. I have Norton on my laptop, right? But you've got to make sure that you're pulling the forces together that will ensure that your internet presence in the marketplace is secure. Okay, so that's the second type of application or system you want to have. The third one, to me is a fairly obvious one, but what I found is sometimes we don't think, because we're not scheduling a lot of appointments, we don't think that we need some sort of tool that helps us do that. I recommend that you have a calendaring tool, you have a scheduling tool. For years and years and years, I used Time Trade, and up until last year or year before, I used Time Trade. Then I moved over to Calendly, and both of them are really robust tools. I like Calendly because, like Time Trade, I can set a number of different appointments, but I can also block off time. They both connect with your Google Calendar, your iCal. What is the other calendar? They both connect with whatever you use as your calendar. So start using your calendar on Google, start using your iCal on your Mac, start using your calendar. Then when you integrate it with your calendar tool, then you've got your cover. You can block off certain times that you want certain types of appointments. You can make, pretty branded sessions that you create in Calendly or in Time Trade. They both work the same way. And they're managing the overlap so that you don't have to. That's the beauty of having a calendar or some sort of automated scheduling tool or application. So if you're just jumping in, thank you so much for being here. I'm talking about your coaching toolbox, and I'm giving you tools and applications that will help you prepare for growth and scaling your coaching business. I've talked about invoicing, automated payment, and digital delivery. If you missed it, be sure that you go back and you listen to it. If you're coming in after the fact, be sure you type #replay to let me know that you're here. Of course, if you have any questions, I'm going to go back to the different platforms where I'm broadcasting live and respond to any questions that you may have. Again, I'm broadcasting live on YouTube, LinkedIn, my Facebook profile, my Facebook page, and 2 Facebook groups. So you have an opportunity to see me anywhere and everywhere right now, right? So I'm talking about this in terms of categories. I told you about invoicing, automated payment processing, and digital delivery. Then I talked about website security and internet safety, making sure you have virus and malware protection on your website as well as on your home computer. It can be a laptop, it can be a desktop, but you need to have something to fend off potential attacks, right? The third area I talked about was calendaring and automated scheduling. I told you I used Time Trade for years. I know people who use Acuity, and it works really, really well. And today I use Calendly. I love Calendly. I have I paid for the whole year because I really knew that I was invested in it. Invest in your business by paying for whatever you're using. These are tools that will help you to grow, keep you safe, help you to be in a place where you are positioned for more business. Okay. Years ago, and it was in 2016, I hosted a summit, and I want to say it was something like 32 different speakers, right? And when I hosted this summit, the thing that struck me was there were some people who were in the marketplace. They were, calling themselves coaches. They were doing business, but they didn't have some of these systems I'm about to tell you. These last two I'm going to tell you, they didn't have these systems in place. And it hindered my ability to serve them. It hindered my ability to serve the people who signed up for the summit because they weren't ready for it, right? I remember one of my guests on the summit said she didn't have a lead magnet. She had created a handout, but she didn't have a system that captured the leads. She said, oh, if they just go to my website, they can click and download it. And I accepted that. But what I realized is that did more harm than good for her and for the people who were interested in what she had to offer. So these next two are really going to help you clarify what you can do to be sure you're in lead generation mode. And lead generation is sort of like the fuel that keeps your business flowing with clients. When you are always thinking of how you want to generate leads, it makes a difference. Case in point, most people have one lead magnet. And I say over time, what happens is you get to understand what your clients are needing, and you can create content that serves them, that supports them over time. And, I looked at one point in my warehouse, and I think I have like 70 or 80 different lead magnets. I don't use them all the time, but I always know if I have something, I can always share that as a potential lead magnet. I can share it with people who have never gotten anything from me that are interested in getting something from me. I can share with clients who need additional support as we're coaching on a particular area. I add a whole lot of content to my Academy membership because they're paying regularly and there's just tons of stuff in the library for them to access. You want to have different lead magnets. Start with one if that's what you need to do. But as you continue to ask the question, how can I serve my clients based on where they are right now? You begin to grow your content. You begin to repurpose your content. You begin to see different forms that the same content can take, and you create those different forms for people. So think about having multiple lead magnets so that you can change them out, right? You can alternate based on who you're trying to talk to. The other thing I'm going to say about lead magnets is you've got to have a way to capture email addresses, names, information from potential clients. These days, and I didn't start hearing it as much until, again, I came back in 2016. And what I discovered is everybody was talking about a funnel. Everybody was talking about a funnel. I was like, funnel? What's a funnel? And, there were people in 2016 that I was working with, and they kept saying, no more funnels, no more funnels. And I didn't understand why. Well, when you look at those two different perspectives, like I did, I came to understand that funnel is another word for leading people down the path of working with you. They get to know you, they get to like you, they get to trust you, they get to experience you. And then at some point, because you're present, right, you're in front of them through your funnel, they buy from you. They hire you for as a coach. That's what a funnel does. Well, when people have said no more funnels, what I understand is it really is about nurturing the relationships. And if you think of a funnel, sometimes people don't see those as nurturing, but they absolutely are the same thing. Email nurture sequences and funnels are really the same thing. They do the same thing. The point is you're spending the time giving people an opportunity to get to know you, to get to trust you, to see the value you offer, to buy from you. You're top of mind because you're staying in touch with them over the series of emails that you're sending out. And you're offering them opportunities to work with you. You're inviting them every so often to work with you based on what you offer in that moment. So think about your email marketing and your CRM, your customer relationship management tool, and your lead capture is what you're going to need to make that happen, right? You're going to need an email marketing system. You're going to need, a CRM. If you're using your CRM appropriately, it's going to help you track your follow-up so that you're not having to do it in some other place. A great CRM will help you to do that. And then in terms of your lead application, it may give you may have some pretty pages or whatever so that you don't have to go through the design of that. My email marketing CRM lead page tool of choice is ActiveCampaign. I've been with ActiveCampaign since the fall of 2016. And what I discovered was I used email marketing tools before that. I used Constant Contact. I've used Aweber. I've used One Shopping Cart. I've used, let's see, what else have I used? I've used Red Oak Cart, I think it is, Red Oak Cart. I've used, in terms of email marketing, I've used GetResponse. I've used MailChimp. The thing that I want you to know is when you are looking to grow and scale, you've got to make sure that your email marketing, customer relationship management tool, whatever you're using to capture your leads, is robust enough that you can set it and forget it to some degree. I want to say it was like maybe 2 weeks back in 2016, just writing email nurture sequences. That means I had a sequence that I timed within the tool. That means that I knew in 2 days this was going to happen, 3 days that was going to happen, 5 days later that was going to happen. And I spent time doing that because I wanted to get really comfortable writing emails as part of a sequence, emails as part of a funnel, right? So whatever you call it, just make sure that you get comfortable with the notion that you need to write emails. You need to give your potential clients an opportunity to know, like, trust and experience the value you offer so that when you extend an offer to work with you, it doesn't come as the shock they've experienced like your voice in your emails. I was talking to, I'm getting ready to onboard an email copywriter. That's what he is, email copywriter. And I was talking to him earlier and I was like, I really want you to get my voice because there's so many other things I want to do in my business that I need to do in my business as the, figurehead, the face of my business. Writing emails is something that I find I just can't focus on. In 2016, when I wrote all of those email nurture sequences, I want to say I wrote 3 or 4 for different products that I had. And, what I learned was what my voice was, how I wanted to say it, some of my catchphrases, some of my isms. I invited people to plug into different types of content that I offer: video, audio, downloadable PDFs, all kinds of stuff, so that people get used to knowing that Wendy Y is a giver. She's going to give me content. It's going to be great, high value content, whether it's written or it's, audio or it's video. That's what I want people to know for you as well, that they recognize the value that you bring. And after getting these emails from you, in sequence, they're going to say, you know what, I think I do want to buy something from her. I do want to invest in coaching with her. That's what I want for you. So you've got to have a tool. I told you I've used Constant Contact. I've used Aweber. I've used One Shopping Cart. I've used Get Response and MailChimp. Just make sure that you're asking the question for yourself: how robust of a platform do I need to have? When I came back to the marketplace at the beginning of 2016 and I rebranded and I was into all of this infrastructure building, what I realized was that initially I did not need something really robust. I wanted to just have automations, and MailChimp was what I used. MailChimp allowed me to do automations. They were pretty. I could spend a little more and, take the branding off, and I was still happy with what I had. Then I grew from MailChimp to Get Response, and Get Response has its own benefits. Like I've said before, Constant Contact, all of those do. Then I moved to Active Campaign, and I've been with Active Campaign ever since. I don't have any regrets about moving to Active Campaign because it positioned me for my business to grow. I have multiple automations. The copywriter that I'm onboarding right now, I'm excited that, I got somebody else writing stuff to stay engaged with my list. It's easy when you have the right tools that support you to stay in touch with your clients, whether it's through a nurture sequence, if that's what you want to call it, or a funnel. And the thing I want you to know about an email nurture sequence or a funnel is it doesn't have to be. Somebody asked me one time, do I have to write? I think the one that I teach my clients has like 11 emails, right, over like a 21-day period. And they're like, do I have to have so many? And I'm thinking, you actually want to have a whole lot more than that. A great email nurture sequence or a great funnel helps you stay in touch with your list, continue to nurture the relationship, continue to add value. And, with this email copywriter, I'm so excited now because I get to sort of cut him loose and let him build out a sequence for me that is based on my marketing calendar, right? That's based on what I want people to take part of and the opportunities to plug in to get value from, being a part of whatever I'm doing. The longer the email nurture sequence is, the less you have to think about how you're going to nurture the relationships. That's the beauty of it. You could create a 365-day email nurture sequence that would support you in staying in communication so that you're not having to do that. I say that because that's where I'm headed. Okay, that's where I'm headed. And if you're at or near 6 figures or trying to grow to multiple 6 figures, it's a great idea for you to have a constant way to communicate and connect with the people that are interested in what you offer. The last area I want to give you, and again, if you're watching and you have questions, be sure that you ask your questions. If you catch me on the replay, type #replay. You can still ask your questions and I'll be more than happy to help you. The last area is, I think, really important. The strategy I gave a couple of days ago when I talked about group coaching was to record everything, transcribe everything, excuse me, and warehouse everything. So the fifth area I want to talk to you about is cloud storage. I want to talk to you about cloud storage. If you don't have a place that's outside of your laptop, your desktop, to store all of your content, you're missing out on an opportunity to serve up your content, but you're also missing out on an opportunity to secure your content. Yeah, cloud storage is available on a lot of different ways, and I'm going to give you several to name a few, like I did the other day. But the point is, if you're saving it on your laptop or desktop, you're at risk if something happens to your laptop or desktop. The reason I started going to cloud storage was because my computer crashed a couple of times. They don't last forever. And I literally moved from Outlook to Gmail after my computer crashed a couple of times. I was in corporate America, everything I used was either Outlook or Lotus Notes or something, right? So I was using that model for my emails. But then when I realized that I could lose everything just because my computer crashed, even though they tell you you can save this file from Microsoft or you can save that and you still have everything, I promise you it doesn't always work that way. So what I want to say to you is cloud storage is your friend when it comes to your content, your how you access your email. I didn't plan on sharing that, but I can go to my Gmail anywhere on my phone. When I'm traveling, I can do whatever I need to do. That's the beauty of having something that's on a cloud platform versus on your laptop. Sometimes I travel for leisure and I don't always carry my laptop, but I know I can access. If I need to get to a keyboard where I need to enter something in, I can still access many of my tools. Google also has like I forget what they call it, is something like a suite where you can literally log in on at a distance to all of your Google stuff, your documents, your drive, your email, just like you were logging in from your own laptop. So there are options there. But cloud storage is what's going to help you build your content and track your content so that you know what you have. So many times I've gotten an idea for a new program or something I want to create in the way of content. And I've gone out to my warehouse, I've gone out to my cloud storage, and I've been like, oh, I already started this already, or I've already created it. It's just under a different name. So for cloud storage, I will tell you that my cloud storage of choice is box.com. I like box.com because it allows me to create a branded warehouse. I can send clients links. I get to see when people are downloading lead magnets or clients are accessing their information. So I know what's going on. I love Box for that. People can also, you can turn off access if you need to Box. Like you can give people a time limit and you can turn off the access if that's what you want to do. Box is my tool of choice for cloud storage. I also use Amazon S3. Amazon S3, you end up paying for the bandwidth that's used to download whatever you put there. And even with my academy, when people are downloading like crazy, I'm still spending pennies on the dollar for them to access that content that's there. All of my academy content lives on Amazon S3, and it's secure, and what's there. You get to open the buckets or close the buckets, whatever you need to do. I love Amazon S3 as well. If you have Dropbox, you can use Dropbox, but you've just got to know what you're doing to use Dropbox, right? I've also used one cloud, I forget what it's called, one something, and it's through Microsoft. I use that sometimes when I'm uploading stuff to my for my own personal use. I use, one cloud for that. I also use Google Drive. Google Drive is, a cloud storage platform as well. And you can give people access to certain things, but you got to be careful, like with all of these, how you set the permission so that the right people are getting access to it and you're not giving access to bots that are out there, those, automated whatever they call, are out there trying to grab up content, that should be protected. So just pay attention to what you're using. Make sure that you're asking the question, how secure is my content when I put it here? How accessible is my content when I put it here? How do I grant access or deny access to this platform? Is that easy to do? Do I need to learn a whole new language to do it? You've just got to pay attention to the bells and whistles that the cloud storage offers, and that will help you identify if it's the right cloud storage for you. So I've gone on a little bit longer than I planned to, but I hope I've helped you by giving you these tools for your coaching toolbox, especially when you want to grow. Tomorrow, I'm going to be back to talk about the core values of a great coach and how you can avoid being a bad coach. That's going to be an interesting conversation. I've got some funny stories to share, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. As a reminder, if you are here, say hello. If you tuned in, let me know that you tuned in. If you're catching the replay, type hashtag replay. I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of the Profitable Coaching Conversation Show. Thanks so much for being here, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.